Hello and welcome to Friday. I am going to Georgia today. I have a friend, an old coworker, used to work at Books A Million when I lived back in East Tennessee. They moved eventually to Georgia like a while back, and they've like wanted me to visit for forever. And so yeah, I thought this would be a good time to go. It's summertime, like things are, pretty simple at the moment, so yeah, I thought I'd finally go. In addition, I also am going to be seeing a band called Queef Jerky tonight at the Masquerade. They are a band from YouTubers Nick Is Not Green and Dev Limes, or Dev Lemons, which is her artist project. Tickets were like $20, and like they're just kind of like a ridiculous like hyper pop hip hop band. And I was like, man, you know what? I'll go. And then this would be a good excuse to visit my friend Reagan, and so that is what I'm doing this weekend. So hopefully, it's a good time. I don't know what else I'll be doing. There's like a couple things I want to do. There's like a couple bookstores, and like maybe I might go to one of the museums down there. I don't know, but in any case, I will be taking you all with me. I haven't vlogged in a very long time, so this is very interesting. So anyways, let us go to Atlanta, Georgia. Friday, I left for my trip. It was about a 4-hour drive, and it was pretty smooth, all things considered. It's like a very straightforward drive down to Georgia, and I just like listened to a couple podcasts on the way down there. And since I was going to be seeing Queef Jerky that night, I decided to listen to them a little bit to prepare. I got there, and I got to just hang out for a little bit with Reagan and just sort of catch up and stuff. We went to eat before the show. So we went to this Japanese restaurant called Jinya. It had some pretty good vegan options. I don't remember exactly what I had, but it was sort of like, it was like a bowl with like various vegetables and some sort of like yellow stuff. I don't really know what it was, but it was very good. And another like just thing I'm very grateful for is that like my meals, like I wasn't expecting them to pay for it. I had like budgeted to pay for my own meals and everything, but Reagan had paid for all of it, and I obviously really appreciate that. All of the good things that I got to eat this weekend were paid for, so that's always nice to sort of be taken care of. Yeah, after that I then went to the concert. Atlanta traffic, I've heard, is worse than Nashville, and it most definitely is. It is pretty abysmal. It's like the definition of just add like the meme that's like, just add another lane, bro, it'll work, I promise, just add another lane. I really got lost like a couple times. The parking situation was interesting. I ended up parking in a lot where I paid $40 for parking. Yeah, that wasn't great. I wish I would have found a place that was like either free or just a lot cheaper, but $40 for parking is crazy. Anyways, got to the show. It was at a venue called the Masquerade. We were in there's 3 layers. There's heaven, purgatory, and hell in the Masquerade. It's in this like underground like shopping center sort of thing called it's called Underground Atlanta. It was very cool vibe, very much fit the Queef Jerky vibe, I think. There was a theme that night that Queef Jerky like on Instagram posted like themes for all of the different shows, and the theme for my night was like wizard cowboys. And I didn't like totally fit the theme. I just wasn't thinking about it, and I was already in Atlanta by the time that I remembered that there was a theme at all. But a bunch of people dressed up. It was really fun. It was really goofy and weird. I did get some merch. I got a shirt. I got this t-shirt. I hope you guys can read it. It says 2 things about my wife. At our wedding, she won't wear a gown. Number 2, she would rather wear a Lady Gaga meat dress. A reference to the song Pineapple Upside Down, where Dev Lemon screams in the bridge and says, But But the show was really fun. It was really loud and crazy, and yeah, I'm very glad that I got to go. You know, $20 for Queep Jerky tickets. Hell yeah, I'm there. The next day, we had woken up pretty early, and I had a few things that I knew I wanted to do, and one of those being was going to a place called the Junkman's Daughter, and there was a record shop called Criminal Records. Other than that, I was sort of leaving it up to them. So we decided we were going to go like an area called the Beltline, which is sort of like this very walkable like area of Atlanta, where there's just a bunch of like shopping and like food halls. It was really nice. There was a lot of art, and there's a lot of like murals and graffiti, and that was really cool. That's something that, like, you know, when you're going online and you're looking up like stuff to do, you might have like a couple people on Reddit being like, oh yeah, be sure to check out like the art here or something, but generally, you know, you won't be able to find that stuff unless you have a local like telling you like, hey, you should check this out. And I was very glad that we did. There was a lot of cool art. There was a place specifically called Cabbage Town, which is like this historic area of Atlanta, and there's like these rotating murals that like change out every so often, and it was very relaxing morning, not that busy or anything, and we were just walking through and seeing all of the really cool art, and it was very beautiful and cool, and I loved it. I also got some chocolate. One of my friends took care of my cats while I was gone, so I went to give them a gift. So the chocolate will come up later, but for now, I want you to know that I got it. It was from a place called Zoxolotl? Chocolatl? I don't know. Zoxolotl chocolate, I guess is what it's called. I don't actually know how to pronounce it, but it was a very cute little like chocolate shop, like ethically sourced chocolate and stuff like that. Yeah, it was very cute. I got some dark chocolates for my friend as payment for taking care of the kitty cats who are right now messing with my door. So after that, we wanted to hit up this, I think it was 5 Point, the 5 Spot or whatever, I don't know. There's places in Nashville that are called like the 5 Spot, that's a venue, and there's 5 Points. I guess maybe it's this, like called the same thing, I don't remember. But basically it was the area where Junkman's Daughter and Criminal Records were. There were a bunch of street vendors, and there was also like some just eclectic stores. Oh, yes, another thing that we did that morning was we went to the farmer's market, or a farmer's market. And yeah, that was cute, that was fun. I got some basil pesto, that was really good. And they had gotten some like vegetables and stuff for food later, and it was just great. It was just a nice little vibe. I love a farmer's market. But yes, back to the 5 Point area. Both Criminal Records and Junkman's Daughter were not open when we like went. So we decided to just, we were both like a little hungry, and we just needed some time to kill. And I also really needed to use the restroom, so we went into a bar. We played pool and had hummus, and that was very good. I smoked them at pool in the first game we played. The second game, they were way ahead of me, and then they scratched on the 8 ball. So I won both of those motherfuckers. So after I was done kicking their ass, the Junkman's Daughter and Criminal Records were open. So Junkman's Daughter is like a really cute, like eclectic store that has like a bunch of like thrifted clothes and a bunch of local art and stuff. But one of the things that I was like the most interested in was they have like in the back like a whole wall of just zines. I thought that was really cool. I've never seen like that many zines in one place, so that was really cool. So I got a few zines. I got this one, that's the Nez Perce Indians. They were centered in what is now Oregon, Washington, and Idaho. I certainly don't know as much about the indigenous peoples of America as I should, and I'm trying to learn more. So I thought this was like a pretty, it's cute. And also like a good way to learn. I also got one called The 3 Worst Words You Can Say to a Boy Are, quote, be a man, end quote. Yeah, I've been reading some like feminist literature and stuff. And, I like little zines like this that can sort of like put it in a bite-sized way for me to show to other men that need to escape the patriarchy. So yeah, so this one's pretty cool. And in the same vein, I also got this one called Your Masculinity. I will say there is a genre of book that was like, you are a badass, how to be your best self. This is giving that, to be honest. The message, I like the message, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I can get past the stupid title if you can give me some good advice. And the other thing I got was The FBI Wants You, The Red Scare. So this is like a big old one, and it's I guess like a bunch of like history on the Red Scare. This is really cool. I thought this was really fun. I like that it's laid out like not laid out like a newspaper, but it has like the vibe of one. So yeah, so these were the zines I got. There's so many that I thought were cool, and yeah, these are just the ones that I was like, I can't spend all my money on zines. The next spot we had gone to ended up being Criminal Records. We went to a couple record stores actually, but Criminal Records was one of them. Both record shops were pretty cool, but Criminal Records has like a much wider selection. And I got this record, Funkadelic, One Nation Under a Groove. I remember in my music history classes at school, we had talked about Funkadelic at one point in time. I never listened to them, so this is like an original pressing as well, so I thought that was pretty neat. I love the cover. Like, look at this cover. This is epic. I'm gonna get this, right? So it's pretty cheap. It's like 20 bucks. Other than that, like, it was just a cool like place in general. And the other thing, like when we were on the Beltline, there's a street vendor. There's a thing they did called Poem on the Spot, and there's like these two people with like typewriters, and you just like gave them a few like prompt, and they would write you a little poem. So I have mine framed, not very well as you can see because it's like falling, but I gave them a little prompt, frogs, and the color orange. Having that skill to write anything like that good, like on the spot, is crazy to me. Very cool. They were a group called Peach Fuzz Journal, so they're on Instagram, so if you want to give them a follow and support their work, do it, because that was epic. Yeah, so after that whole thing, I got a lot of steps that day. We had gone to H Mart which I've never been to an H Mart. There's not one in Tennessee that I'm aware of. That was pretty cool. They also had a food court there, which of course I didn't eat, but it was very cool to see like all the restaurants there. I also read Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner, the girl from Japanese Breakfast. And so I have like this idea of what an H Mart looks like in my head, and so to like actually see it in person was like, I don't know, it was fun. After that, we went to a Indian restaurant that I cannot for the life of me remember what it was called. It was very good. There was a lot of vegan options, and I got the vegan chana masala. Oh my god, it was so good. It was delicious. I got it hot and spicy. I've never had like actual chana masala in my life. I've made like my own at home. Now that I've had like real chana masala from an actual like Indian owned restaurant, I'm like, okay, now how do I make mine taste like that? So that'll be a journey. I will figure that out. So super awesome technology moment. The last section of the vlog got corrupted when I was moving it to my computer. Awesome. So I'm editing the vlog right now, and now I have to like finish it. So I just got done talking about the Indian restaurant that we went to that was very good, and now that I'm like remembering that I did that last weekend, I am very hungry. Yeah, so after that we came back, and this is where the chocolate story comes in, because I don't live with dogs anymore. I just wasn't really thinking about the possibility of the dog eating the chocolate. So I put it in my bag, like my backpack, but I just didn't zip it up. And I just like, you know, I put it in there and like just didn't think about it. And when we got back, Reagan's dog, Ray, had eaten a bar and a half of this chocolate. It may not have been bad if it was like milk chocolate or something like that. Still wouldn't have been good. But it was like highly concentrated dark chocolate. Not part of my plan, but we did end up having to make this dog throw up all of that chocolate. Disgusting, but Ray is okay. So that's good. That was extremely stressful. So after that we relaxed and we watched Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which I have not watched before. I've heard of it, seen clips, but never actually watched it, but it was very good, it was funny. We ate some mango sticky rice, and Reagan had me play this game called Bramble. I'll talk about it more in a minute, but yeah, we did play that for a little bit. So I'm not one to like fill up my schedule to like the minute, so it was nice to have like a few hours where we could just like kick back and relax. And especially because like I've been friends with them, but it was like really just like at work, and now I get to hang out with them and like be friends without having the pressure of a manager getting us to stop talking. That was really nice. But eventually we went to bed, and then it was my last day on Sunday. So I didn't have very much planned for Sunday, but we decided to go back and get some chocolate. Now, I wouldn't have cared that much if it wasn't chocolate that I got for one of my friends. So it was like important to me to like go back and get more. But it was okay because we were on that in that area anyway, because we wanted to get some pastries. We went to this little pastry shop. It was called like Little Tarts, I think. I got like a cinnamon zucchini muffin. It was delicious. The big thing that I wanted to do for the last day was go to the King Center. I was very glad I got to go. We walked around like Martin Luther King's like historic neighborhood. Unfortunately, the house that like the historic house was not open. They're like doing restoration stuff, and so that was a bit disappointing, but otherwise, I mean, it was still cool to see the neighborhood. There was like plaques and stuff like talking about like all the different history, about the class differences between white and black people, you know, at different periods of time. So that was really fascinating. When we did actually go to the King Center, it was a really cool experience. You know, I know quite a bit about Martin Luther King, but it's like, you know, we get to walk through and see all of this like really cool historical stuff that they've kept, you know, different clothes that he had, and it wasn't just about Martin Luther King. There was a Coretta Scott King like exhibit kind of thing, and then also stuff on Gandhi and Rosa Parks, and just stuff on like Black history in general in America. I got this cookbook called Vegan Soul Kitchen by Bryant Terry. I have not had too much soul food, so I should have had more while I was down there, but we'll try some. Once I have some, I'll try it, try my hand at it, and we'll see how that goes. So yeah, that was like the souvenir that I got from the King Center. There were like several different like gift shops, which I thought was kind of strange. One of the things that is weird about it, and one of the pitfalls of it being a government-funded institution, and especially on a figure who was criticizing that same like national government. You know, the framing of Martin Luther King is very much like, yeah, like Martin Luther King was so great and he had so many great things to say about racism. Racism in America is completely eliminated. That's sort of the framing that I got from the exhibit, and obviously not true, but nonetheless the figure himself and the figures are very inspiring, and they inspire me to try to do better today, because those problems definitely still do exist. The very last thing we decided to do while we were out was get brunch. We went to this Cuban restaurant that for the life of me, I cannot remember what its name was, but I got like a sandwich. It was a Cuban sandwich with hummus, sprouts, tomato, and pepperoncinis. It was so good. It was so delicious. And I also got a Mexican Coke because every time there's a Mexican Coke anywhere, I have to have it because I love Mexican Coke. We went back to their apartment and I finished up playing Bramble. It was really fun. It's one of those games, it's like, you know, 5 or 6 hours in total. Just really simple. It's not like too difficult, like it's a little difficult, but it's not super hard. It has sort of the vibe of the games Limbo and Inside, where there's sort of like these weird, creepy puzzle platformers. This one is based off of like Slavic bedtime stories, so like the start of it is that you play as like this little boy who reads a storybook about not going outside because the Babadook will get you, and then the kid goes outside and the Babadook comes and gets him. So it's very fun. They made me play it for whatever reason, and I was glad they did. I haven't played a video game in a little bit, so that was really fun. After that, it was the end of my trip in Atlanta, and I drove home, and I got back at a pretty decent time to where I could relax and just spend the evening not doing a whole lot. But yeah, my trip was great. I really enjoyed it. I have not traveled that much in my life. I used to like a little bit when I was younger because my dad would go on these business trips and I would just go, but I wasn't like old enough to really absorb and enjoy like what I was actually visiting. Now that I'm older and have my own money and can do things like on my own time, it is really nice to be able to travel and like, you know, also have the mental capacity to appreciate like what I'm looking at. And so it just makes me want to travel more. I'm very excited because I am going to New York in August. That'll be fun. That'll definitely be more of a culture shock than Atlanta. And hopefully I will take more trips soon across the states. I would love to see the country. I think North America is beautiful. Atlanta is such a beautiful place, and as like I've shown, there's so much like creativity there and political consciousness in more ways than like Nashville. I just thought it was really beautiful to see, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of it across the country. I hope you all enjoyed this vlog. I enjoyed making it. I hope to make more soon. I don't know how frequent all of this will be, but hopefully they're just as enjoyable to make as this one was. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all on the next one. Awesome traffic. Yes, let's go. Oh my god, what are you doing? I'm sorry for the people behind me. Oh my god, let's go, guys. Let's go.